everybody, welcome to Projection Mapping Basics. Today we are looking at hardware. This is Dan Phillips and I can't wait to get started today. So what materials do I need to start off? When we're looking at hardware, this is the materialistic things that you need. You need a laptop, okay? You can use a computer too, either would work. You're going to need a projector housing, a speaker, outdoor rated if you're going to have any type of weather around it, media player, HDMI cord. So let's start off with the laptop, and remember, you can do a laptop. It's easier for me, that's what I use, but if you're looking for cheaper processing power, you're most likely going to have better luck with a tower computer. That's usually what's used by for video editing. So you can choose either Mac or Windows, either will work. The minimum specs I would say is the multi-core processor, 64-bit, at least 8 gigabytes of RAM, 16 gigabytes plus. The more you have, the faster it will render. And then you have the 10 gigabytes install and cache. And these minimum specs, these are based off of the programs that I use, which is the Adobe suite. For the laptop, I also find it very useful for an HDMI port, and this is for when I'm going out and I'm doing the mapping of the house, even playing the video sometimes. It's nice to have an HDMI port handy. For your projector, you're going to need a projector. Short throw is the preferred type. There's long throw, short throw. There's also ultra short throw. Your best bet is using a short throw projector. And make sure you check out the picking a projector video. I'll go over more. So you'll be looking at 3,500 lumens minimum, and we're talking about a whole house projection. And so for the general residential property with limited ambient light, you're looking for 3,500 lumens minimum. And just to explain that, lumens, this is showing the brightness, how bright it will look upon your house. And then you have beware of the LED models. There are a lot of models of projectors that are out there now that are LED based, and they're saying it's 9,000 lumens, and it really is not. They measure it a little differently. So if you go into that projector video that I have, that will be your best bet to get a little more information on there. But just know you're going to need a projector. Shoot for a short throw, 3,500 lumens minimum. If it's too good to be true, then it is. And watch my projector video, and I will help you narrow down. You're going to need a projector housing. Your housing will look different. This is my housing. I am on a hill, so mine is taller. Some people hide them in tombstones. Some people have them right on the ground. It all depends on your property. Your projector housing should be semi-permanent, if not permanent. It's all up to you and your significant other, what they would like to see in the yard. You want it to be weatherproof, especially if you're going to leave it out there for long amounts of time, or even if you're not planning, if you're planning on taking it in for the rain, you never know when a pop-up shower will come by. So best bet is just to make it weatherproof. You want it to be removable. A removable projector really helps, mainly for theft. So you want to be able to get it moving in and out. You can see I have some locks here that locks down the top, and there's some other theft deterrents in there as well. You would like, or it's good to have it removable so that way you can bring it in and out, and the semi-permanentness of it makes it a lot easier when you bring it back out everything will line up when you get it back out there. Have it vented. Projectors are hot. They run hot. And short throw projectors are even hotter because there's a lot of processing going on where it is taking your data that's coming in and it is changing that data to make it project in a shorter distance. So make sure you have it vented so that way your projector can breathe. Also, you might want to add some fans into that housing. It's to keep the air moving. Some people put temperature sensors in. It really depends on your climate, and you want to try to keep an optimal temperature, which is like a room temperature type temperature in your housing. So just keep that in mind as you are creating it. Make sure, and like I kind of said, keeping it thermal balanced, no spikes, hot, cold. You want to keep it balanced as much as possible. Another thing is keeping it secure. You're probably not going to be sitting out there at all times. Some people do, but most people do not. So make sure you have it secure. Remember, when you get into the theft video, it's really theft deterrent. If anybody is gung-ho and they want to get at it, they will get at it. So you want to keep it as secure as possible. Definitely check out my theft video and check out the outdoor housing video, which will go into more detail on the housings that I did. You're going to need a speaker of some sort. And this is one of those things where you could need it or could not. It's all up into your preference, but I would definitely say you should have one just for the people who are not in the car. And if you have any type of noise, it's good to have, especially for trick-or-treaters. Keep it wired or Bluetooth. You're going to decide which one works best, and that depends on your media outs from your projector or media player. Keep your speaker outdoor rated, and that's really based on placement. If you have it in the container in your housing, then you don't really have to worry about it. If you have it out closer, then you want to make sure that it is weatherproof or weather resistant. Make sure it has an auxiliary in, so that way you can add your music into the player. Speaking of players, you need a media player of some sort. This media player will take your information, your data, your movie, and it will send it through the HDMI or whatever other cord you have into your projector to play. Keep in mind the resolution. Make sure your resolution goes with the format, the resolution that you used to create your video. Do you need a USB or an SD? I use USBs. They're a lot easier. SD cards work as well. So you can use either or. I just happen to have a lot of those thumb drives everywhere. Make sure it has a repeat option. That is a really interesting thing that I did not think about until I started playing it and setting it up. This way it can reload the file over and over again, and it will save you from exporting a 3-hour long file where you have it repeating in your long video. So just make sure it has a repeat feature. It definitely helps, even if you have like a list of things that you want to go through. Here are some great add-ons that you can add in. FM transmitter, and I get into that in a future video, actually a little further down in this one. Dedicated external hard drive, Bluetooth speaker, supplemental screen areas. Really, the sky is the limit. So let's look at some of these add-ons. The FM transmitter. You're looking for range. Range is how far the FM transmitter will cover. Now there are different lines depending on where you live, where you cannot take over a radio station. So for or past a certain distance. So just make sure you are within your guidelines. So keep in mind the range. Make sure it's powerful enough to cover the area that you want. Frequency, that is the channel, the radio station that you are going to be overtaking, and you will have your visitors tuning into to listen. You are going to need some type of splitter usually. So I have my media player with a splitter, and one side of the audio splitter is headed to power my speaker, and the other one is headed to send the audio through the FM transmitter. You're going to need some type of signage for people to know what radio station to tune into, and this is one of those things that once again I found out trial by error. I set it all up and I was like, oh man, how am I going to show them which station to tune into? So just make sure you keep that in mind. Also, optimizing your FM transmitter. There is a little bit more that goes into this. So take a look at my video and I will show you how to get the best transmission for your FM transmitter. An external hard drive. So I really prefer keeping all of my decoration files on a separate hard drive that I can plug into my computer. It makes it a lot easier for me to maintain. I like the idea of it being separate so it's not bogging down my laptop storage. So I like to have an external hard drive. You really like 2 to 5 terabytes, that's perfect. Make sure it's high speed so that way your files are moving in and it's not really killing your rendering time or any of those things. So make sure you have a high speed one, and make sure you keep it organized in whatever way you want. I do mine by the content, like the raw content, where it's like the Atmos effects files or whatever other files that I have. I have that separated. Then I have Halloween branch. I have a Christmas branch, and then other holidays branch. And within each one of those, I have it by year. So keep it some type of organization so everything is where you want it to be, and it will help you really move and streamline your production. A wireless speaker. So having a wireless speaker really helps. Make sure that it is outdoor rated. Make sure you position it closer to the sidewalk. And why would you want to do that? Well, the closer to the sidewalk or the people that are, or the area where the people are going to listen, means that you don't have to have the volume up as much. So you can run them quieter. And quieter means happier neighbors. Supplemental screens. So these screens can be added into your yard or anywhere else. I have mine. These are 3 round screens that I have up on my roof. And keep an eye out for a video on how to make those screens that I did. These are great for the talking pumpkins or things like that. So why do you need supplemental screens? Well, first, there's more space to project on. Second, it helps cover over some darker areas. So if you have dark shutters or a bush or something, or chairs or something along those lines, where it's just kind of dark and your image dies there, supplemental screens will help that. It also helps create a focus point. Adding these screens up top, I was really looking for a little extra content or area to play content on, and it really created a huge focus point that draws the eye over there, which was a really nice effect. It also adds some dimension, so if you have them throughout the yard or something along those lines, that would help as well. So here's my current hardware as of 2021. I run off of a MacBook Pro, 16 gigs of RAM. I was running with 8 gigs of RAM, which was totally doable, but now I'm running 16 and it is noticeably better. My projector is an Optima GT 1080 HDR, which is very popular. The Mugo portable Bluetooth speaker is the one that I use. You can find that on Amazon. The Mica Spec G2 media player was the one that I used to use, and now I switched over to the MyPin Ultra 4K media player. Really, not a huge reason, just a good deal, so I went for it. SanDisk SSD external hard drive is what I use for my external hard drive. So this brings us to the end of the video. This is where I just remind you to reach out. Thanks for watching my video all the way through. I definitely appreciate it. Check out the comments down below. I answer a lot of questions. Actually, any question you put in there, I'll answer if I can. So hit the comments down below. Shoot me an email. You can shoot it to phillipsprojections@gmail.com. That's usually right there in the description that you can get to, and I answer my emails. I also have one-to-one meetings available if that's helpful to you, where I can go over and answer any questions through Zoom or Teams or anything like that. And check out some Facebook groups. They are super helpful. They even help me as I'm going through. Check out Holiday Projection Mapping. I would say this is one of the best ones that's there. And the Atmos Effects decorating community is also very heavily attended. However, it's not quite, it doesn't have a projection mapping focus. So check out those Facebook groups, and thanks. Have a good night.